and welcome back to Heat of the Drum, the channel that's dedicated to the drum smoker. But hey, if you don't have a drum smoker and you got an offset smoker and you want to watch, thanks. I appreciate it. I want to thank everybody that took time to like, subscribe, watch the last video. I appreciate it, man. Things are only going to get better quality-wise on this the more I do it. So I thank you guys all for watching. Now, video you're about to watch was shot yesterday. I'm just re-recording this part right here. So we had a nasty snowstorm, and it got pretty cold. But we cooked a kick butt chuck roast, man. Let me tell you, that thing was tasty. So I'm going to show you that footage now, and enjoy. Today, it's a winter storm. We're getting like 6 or 8 inches out here. And we're doing a chuck roast. Let me get everything ready here. I'll show you guys how I prepare the charcoal basket, and we'll get rolling. Okay, so our last video I had talked about cleaning out the inside of the drum. And you guys can see in there is a little bit of ash and stuff in there. And all we need to do is do kind of a light scraping. I'll fire up the shop vac and I'll vacuum this thing out. These right here are your best friends when it comes to this. Today I'm just going to use this plastic scraper, but the metal one definitely comes in handy at times. Now all I'm going to do is go ahead and scrape this thing around like so. And don't forget the lid. Definitely want to get that. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how I empty this charcoal basket. What I do is I basically just shake it back and forth, and this will actually kind of act like a sift and get this ash out. So it takes about 3 or 4 times. And hopefully you can see this pretty good. This is what's left from the last time I used it. I reuse all my charcoal. I don't throw any of it out. Some people say, oh, it'll never relight. Some people say, oh yeah, it does relight. I'm here to tell you it will relight. This will all get burned. So I just keep adding to it. And that's what I'll show you here. I'm going to take a little bit. I mix them. I got Kingsford briquettes. Then I have lump charcoal. And I just kind of combine them together in here. And we'll do that now. This is my using some cowboy lump. Usually just get whatever I can get my hands on. Getting to the last of it here. Add some Kingsford. Spread those around. Like such. It's looking pretty good. I know for a fact that this will burn for quite a while. Just that right there. So Okay, same deal here. I'm just going to fill this up about 3/4 of the way. Now let's talk about wood placement. Since we're doing beef, I like to do hickory, so that's what we're going to do. And the last, I don't have very many big chunks left, but what I like to do is I like to hide my wood, because this is going to be going for about an hour before I put my meat on. So I don't want my wood to burn up right away, so I usually try to protect it. And I'll give you a better look here in a second once I get this in here. Like I said, I don't have very many big chunks left, so just using these little shards. But it'll still work. Cooking meat out in the snow. Gotta love it. Okay, so you can see what I did right there. I basically just put the wood off to the sides, kind of protected it a little bit, because we're going to be dumping right in the center our chimney when it's time. So let's get it over there. Bring you in to see that. There we go. Just baskets back in, and it's centered up in the drum. Let's clean these grates, and we're going to be firing this thing up. I'm not going to bore you guys with how to clean a grate. It's pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to get my restrictor plate cleaned up and clean my grates, and I'll get back with you. Okay, so you might hear a little noise in the background. My neighbor's nice enough to come over and use his tractor to take a couple swipes down the driveway for me and clear off some snow. So thanks, Tom. Okay, so here we go. We got our little chimney cap put in place, and we got our chimney about 3/4 of the way filled, and we're going to light it. Now, if you guys ain't ever tried these, I highly recommend them. You get 24 of these cubes in a box, and they come like this, and you just peel back the foil, pop them out of there, almost like an ice cube. They look like this, and you just set there. I'll bring you in so you can see. And then you just light it. And I only use one every time, and it works great. Set my chimney on there and let the smoking commence. Okay, I realized that the footage was a little dark there, and you might not have been able to see these, but this was those cubes I was talking about right there. So yeah, they work pretty good. I'm gonna let this chimney go for, it'll take about 20 minutes. When I start seeing flames coming out the top, I'll be dumping her in. And we have flame. Let's get her dumped. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. We're going to go ahead and get our temperature probe in so we can control and see what that temperature is going to be looking like for us today on this crazy snowy day. Get the lid on. And just so you guys know, I am using a Thermal Pro, and I've had pretty good luck with it. I know it ain't the expensive ThermalWorks or anything like that, but I'll tell you what, it does the job and does everything I need it to do. Go ahead and plug that bad boy in. Cold day like today, definitely make sure that it's hooked on this smoker so it can be close to a heat source. Okay. I'm going to watch my temperature. Once it got the alarm set for 290, once it hits 290, I'm going to come out and I'm going to set my damper down there. So, be back when that happens. Okay, that literally took about 2 minutes. So we're going to come down here and close that damper. Now what I'm going to try to do is get that opening to 7/16 of an inch. You guys got to learn your smoker, and I've done this enough now that I kind of know where I need to be on that thing, and it's roughly 7/16 of an inch. So let me get that set. So all I do is I come down here and I get my tape measure out and I measure. So we're gonna look at that, and wow, that was a fairly good guess because maybe it could just go over just a hair. And I'd say that's 7/16 of an inch. We're good to go. Bring you back when it's time to put the meat on. Okay, here's our chuck roast. You want to normally have between a 3.5 pound to 4 pound chuck roast. It seems to be the best that I've had experience with anyway. So this is just an Angus chuck roast. Got it from Walmart. It's 4.1 pounds. We'll get it out of the pack. And I'll show you what we're going to do with it. Get rid of this. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap a string around the outside of it. Why, you might ask? So I want to hold it together. I don't want it to fall apart. Get it pretty tight. Just like that. Grab some scissors. That out of the way. Okay, so what are we going to season this thing with? I got 3 right here that I've used before, and one of them we're going to use. I'll just show you. This one here is real good. Malcolm's Killer Hogs, the barbecue rub. Good stuff. I've used it on here. That tastes really good. Meat Church Holy Cow, really good. But the one I like the best is Steak King Competition Blend, and that's what we're going to use today. And I'll bring you in. We'll season her up. Okay, so we're just going to grab this here. I'm going to start coating. This one is a little tricky to get out of the shaker. You got to really get it going. You know what I like to do is pat it on in there. And don't forget your edges. Just as important. Don't worry about that string. We're going to cut that off later. I'm going to hit it pretty good. This is a big piece of meat. It can take a lot of flavor. And we're going to do that side up. All right. This will set for 20 minutes, and on the smoker it'll go. Oh, one last thing. I want to put this thermometer probe in here now because I want to monitor this piece of meat right from the get-go. So we're going to go about halfway. It's going to be about right in there. And we're going to about halfway up in thickness and halfway in. That's what we're after. I'll bring you back when we put it on the smoker. In case you didn't see it, I'll bring this in so you can see it. This is what we seasoned with right there, if it'll focus, right there. Okay, let me explain a little bit here on how this smoker works as far as the temperature fluctuation. You're going to get some fluctuations either way on whatever you're trying to dial it in and set it at. And we're getting ready to put this on, and it's reading 234, but it's climbing. And what normally happens is this thing, it'll get really high and over my temp where I want it. Then once I baffle it down, put my lid on, then it starts to drop. It drops way down and then it rebounds. So right now it's in the rebound phase. It's coming back up, and it's looking good. It's looking right where we want it. So we're getting ready to put this meat on. Second, let's get the lid off. Here's our chuck roast. And right in the center it goes. That over there. That over there. Get our lid back on. That back there. Get our other end in here so we can monitor this. Get this over here. Set that over there for now. And we'll bring you back in 1 hour. We're going to spin this thing around in 1 hour. Okay, so you can see that our temperature is the smoker is running 270, so we're real close to 275, our target temp. Our meat is 91 degrees, so she's definitely cooking. Let me get the lid off, and all we're going to do right now is rotate. We're 1 hour in. The thing about drum smokers is you want to work fast. Every time you take that lid off, you're messing with your heat. Reposition my thermometer. We gotta rotate it. Lid's going back on. That's going back on there. We're good to go. Now we're waiting for a temperature of 150 degrees, and then we're going to wrap. Okay, we're about 2.5 hours in. Our meat is 150. That's exactly what I was looking for. And our temperature, our target temp is 275. We're currently 283, so we're right in that comfort zone. Now we're going to take this out and take it inside, and we're going to put it in the tray with some foil over top, and I'll show you that right now. Okay, so I ran out of tins, so I'm just going to use this cake pan lined with foil for help with the cleanup. And there she is. We're going to get her off and get her in the pan. Looking pretty good. 2.5 hours in. Okay, so here's our chuck roast, and I'll show you what I do at this point. We got it sitting in our tray. I got 1 cup of beef broth that is warmed and 1 cup of barbecue sauce. Now use whatever barbecue sauce you want. I, at the time, just happened to have this Famous Dave's Sweet and Zesty. That's what I'm going to go with. But use whatever. I use all types of different barbecue sauces, so that's just what I have on hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine this barbecue sauce in with that beef broth. That's good. And then I'm going to whisk it together. Like such. That's good enough. And then I'm just going to pour it over the top of this chuck roast. Just like this. We'll take our foil. And we're going to wrap. Get these out of the way. And our probe is still in. Like that. Now we're going to get her back on the smoker. Okay, here we go. Remember, with drum smokers, you want to work quick. So I'm going to get this back on, get my cord back out of here, and get the lid back on. Get this plugged in. Now we're looking for about 205, 210 internal, or until the meat is tender. So I'll get you back here when we're there. All right, so 22 degrees and a 3-degree wind chill, and we're smoking a chuck roast. And right now we're getting ready to take a look at it. The meat is at 210. The smoker is 267. Our target temp at 275. We're right in that range. Let's go ahead and take a look at it real quick. Oh, that's not bad. So we are right there. I think we're gonna go ahead and take her off. And that, my friends, is a smoked chuck roast on a drum smoker. Let's get this out of there. And there's that string I told you we'd get rid of. I don't even have to cut it. I can just do like this and pull it right off. This look really good. Oh man, look at that. Just pop right. Ooh, that is hot. right here. Tastes good every time. So as you can see, you can make a good piece of meat on that drum smoker. Until next time, heat of the drum.